are back, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we exploded. We are apologizing for massive. But where we left off with this discussion we were having is, Callie got to. I think you actually got to describing what your character was with your druidic necromantic self.
Yeah.
And that leads
just
off
a
from,
dirty little mushroom.
Yeah, that leads off from Cassie having made a circle druid, which is kind of hard to recreate because that's a weird druid subclass.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So fun though.
So
yeah.
Fun though. Yep, absolutely.
It's got one of the most unique defensive abilities of all the druids, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that. Like, now I have 60 extra hit points for no reason.
Yep. But the thing is, mechanically in this game, you really couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense anyway.
For now, at least, unless things change.
So Sam, let me ask you a question. Did you read up a lot on the combat system?
Yes.
So, is there a way to, like, what happens with people with like the tanks, the armored?
So the biggest thing in regards to, say, your heroes versus your villains. The villains typically have 3 quote-unquote tiers, is a good way of putting it. And it's actually like kind of like a good way you can look at it is kind of like your classic video game bad guys.
Right.
You've got the grunts, which can kind of act like, say, as your commoners. They usually have around 1 to 2 HP, only have around 1 attack, only do 1 damage. They're your rank and file, your enemy foot soldiers, your grunts. Then you've got more along the lines of your minions. These are the upper leaders of your bad guys. They're captain lieutenants in the field, the ones calling the shots in smaller operations, who may have anywhere between 3 to 5 HP, maybe around 2 damage per attack. And then you've got your bosses, your shot callers. These guys typically have around 10 HP, but if you're messing around and having more than that, which you are completely able to do, I know some people like to have bosses with more health than just 10, as some abilities just straight up do 10 damage, so that they can't simply be taken out in one hit. Which is why they will also occasionally have players, as they quote-unquote level up and gain new abilities, gain additional HP to help make up for that. Because bosses, on average, according to the system as it recommends, does about 4 damage.
Rip through fast.
Yeah. So depending on what abilities it has, it can make the tides of combat can turn very quickly depending on what everything does.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a situation where you end up having a 45-minute to 2-hour combat. This should be a situation where everyone drops fast unless the thing you're facing is terrifying. And then people are still going to drop fast. It's just terrifying. But one of the things I was going to say is there is, when, like, in the mechanics for the Foundry application that we're putting the game on. By the way, Foundry does have the actual basic setup for the game already available for, which is where we got the character sheets that we were creating stuff with. So not only can you get the for free, but you have to pay for Foundry. If you have a Foundry license, you can set up a campaign for this game in Foundry, and other than paying for the Foundry program itself, you're not out of pocket more than the cost of Foundry. And then everyone in your friends group play the game, and you've literally invested in software. Because as my players can attest, they play Foundry browser. And I'm the only one who actually owns a copy of that. Well, I think Sphinx does too, but for so
that's correct.
Yes. So that's kind of the way it works out. Is that right now West was chosen for number mechanics are somewhat similar, but also very, very different. and the story-based nature of the game is wonderful, and everything should flow faster to give us more time for our and we normally only some nights we go, or so I say, sometimes we go 2 sessions without seeing a combat. So it would be more interesting, like smaller actions able to happen and play out without us having to full initiative and work through the entire combat process. And even if fighting lackeys, it takes a while to gnaw through the game. Like if we meet a street gang, it should literally be over in seconds.
Well, I mean, as well, it's kind of brings about the epic of if the good guys stumble into a room of bad guys, it's not going to take, like a whole hour to dispatch them if the good guys are much better trained. It's going to be like a good way to put it for more of those like military action movies, the Expendables. They walk in and they use their trained skills to clear the area quickly and keep moving.
Yep. And it's not about trying to make things rushed in the game either. It's just about trying to have that capability, focus on story rather than trying to have to wade through a massive set of mechanics to get through a fight. So, all that being said, I think we still have to do gear and stuff like that. And that kind of ties into where the story was going in Kingdoms of Mist, because when we left off, you guys had kind of had a meeting with this Mistmother.
God.
Yeah, trained skills of the Expendables being the main character of an action movie in the 80s.
Let's go.
Yes.
We go in, we touch them on the face, their neck snaps.
Just one touch.
No,
It's
I
like
just
all-
Steven
all-
Seagal movie.
All the name, like before we switch systems, all the minions have names.
Oh no.
The system changes. Why do we just have numbers above our heads?
Uh-oh.
The minions do have names. They're Timmy.
They're,
Timmy.
they're all future
No, those are
Timmy.
your minions. That's different.
They're all
Future-
future Timmy.
They're just
No,
future tense Timmy.
I was gonna say exactly what Milagros was saying.
Future Timmy number 1.
Future Timmy number. Oh, that gives him a number though.
Well, yeah, but they have to be numbered if they can all be future Timmys.
How else are we gonna keep track of them?
We're not.
How many M's are in Timmy?
Yeah,
Oh,
the first
yes.
Timmy has
Yeah.
only one M.
And then 2 M's, and then 3, and then 4.
Yep.
All right. So when we left off, you guys were kind of had a come to Mistmother discussion with the Nightmother. For those of you who are jumping into the show, this is actually a pretty, I guess, the game I should say, kind of a good place to come jump into it because we're doing a lot of changes. The basic concept for this game was pretty simple. Hello, welcome back. The basic concept of this game was pretty simple. I love the movie Treasure Planet, and I liked it because it really captured that whole, high sales adventure type quality, with a little bit of, they used technology to explain it, but it was more like magic. They never explained how any of the fucking technology. Everything was kind of like crazy. People were teleporting all over the place and everything like that. And the ships were open ships that sailed into space with no apparent environmental systems to keep anyone alive. And if you literally, in the movie, if you went too far off the deck, you started to float because it went zero grav, which means you were in space. There was no atmosphere. They should have been dead. But nope, they were just floating on a tether, just hanging out. It was wonderful. It was amazing. It was magical. But I wanted to get rid of the tech. So I said, we'll spin this off into a D&D world. And this was before Spelljammer was announced. So I kind of created this whole world. And the basic premise from my concept was there was a creature called the Mistmother. Literally a creature. It turns out that the creature was a gas giant in space. And she was a living entity. The only company that she had, however, were two brown dwarf stars that were within her that were intelligent, but were only really involved with each other and would only really deal with each other and she couldn't really talk to them. So in her loneliness, she decided to go explore the area outside of herself. They were in a bubble. A bubble. They were in a bubble. They were not in. Anyway. So, but yeah, but she decided to explore the world around her. She went and explored the universe, found all kinds of manners of creatures. Was probably from the amount of different creatures she put into her world. Is obviously apparent that she was able to cross into realities as well, wandering the actual planar worlds as well as just wandering the worlds around her. She was a voyeur for quite a while, observing different societies. Then she decided that she was going to take the people who found as cast-offs in all of their societies, bring them back to her domain, create worlds for them to live on, populate them, put them onto these worlds, and then they were going to be her family and friends. And so they took them all back and brought them back to the worlds, created these 6 amazing worlds for them to live on, and woke them all up, let them all loose, told them what was going on, and the first thing they did was rebel. So after all that, she kind of like rethought everything. She put everyone into this stasis, and she basically redid everything, wiped their memories, left their skills intact so they could survive, but wiped their knowledge of anything outside of her. And so the people came back. The societies evolved from that, and where they sit now, the Mistmother herself has come under attack. In order to keep her people safe and keep them away from all the other things in the felt had caused them to be outcasts, she had cut them all off, except for the barest minimum energies needed to keep certain species alive. She cut them all off from all the other planes of existence. Now, somehow, huge rips have been literally appearing in the fabric of the Mother's form, giving access to extraplanar. The largest and most successful, I guess, planet in the 6 planets that she created is called Alatras. And when the game started, the capital city of Ayla was invaded by an extraplanar army made up of devils, creatures from the Shadowfell, creatures from the elemental planes. This was just a massive attack. And the first thing they did as part of the attack was they blew up the College of Magic in the city, which was probably one of the only places that could have really given knowledge and understanding to what was happening during the invasion. And that's kind of where the adventurers jumped off. They were actually present in the College of Magic when it blew up. And they managed to escape, and then they survived the sacking of Alatras by being teleported 3 months into the future, almost randomly. And they basically helped a bunch of survivors get out of the city, went out into the mountains. A bunch of stuff has happened. Playing this game for almost 2 years. And we have now gotten to the point where the characters have discovered that the Mistmother herself was rendered into 3 separate entities. One is the Mistmother. The other is Nightmother. And the final one, they found to be a small child. And he was I think they called her the Red Mother? I can't remember what I called her now. Because she was the source of, she was the embodiment of the Mistmother's anger and rage. And they managed to rescue her from creatures from the Shadowfell. And in the process of rescuing her, she was cut off from, I guess you'd say, Mistmother herself by being imprisoned in some kind of box. And yes,
Her name is the Lady of Justice.
that's what her name was when she became Lady of Justice. Um, when they finally made her understand they were trying to help her, and she discovered that she was being misled by these other creatures who were lying to her, and she understood what type of sacrifices they had made to get to her. She finally saw reason, and she awoke into what she should have been, which was the aspects of the Mistmother's justice, vengeance. Became the Lady of Justice. But at that same time, she was locked in a box. So they were trying to catch them. Another series of insane events happened where what looked to be a giant demon burst through a portal, and the characters managed to escape it, and literally had to collapse a cave system in on it to stop it from making its way into this reality. A whole bunch of personal shit happened between them and some NPCs from some of the characters' pasts, such as Utopia's former fiance and her almost father-in-law. Calavatia has discovered that she can get her people to safety, except for the fact that, there's wandering armies running around, and she needs to go rescue her people from a cave and bring them back. Val discovered that his lost love, someone that he had been looking for and had lost contact with, not only was safe, but was a member of the Elatran Navy and an engineer on one of the airships, and apparently in love with someone else. Was actually in Ayla when it was sacked, and she has not heard from them since the sacking of Ayla.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Drake was actually a criminal and you weren't a smuggler though, were you? You're basically kind of like a
smuggler, saboteur, anything to particularly be a thorn in their
You had a lot of
one
SE
particular
alliteration.
person.
And so, yeah, but Drake was he was like on a one-man crusade to try and destroy the Elatran Navy.
And now he's a member of it.
Because they had the Elatran government is in my description is a combination of the Roman Empire and the Han Dynasty of the Chinese Empire. So they are very much colonialists. They are very much trying to spread their influence, and probably the only thing that slowed them down was the fact that this invasion happened in their backyard. It is, and then we have Lex, who was literally dispatched originally to watch this group of malcontents.
Spy!
To spy, yes, to spy. Lex is a spy.
Yes, the barbarian makes a great spy.
The barbarian pit fighter is the greatest spy ever.
Yes.
I mean, who would believe it with that cover?
It's true.
But she has since joined them as a true ally and friend after the characters managed to help save the city called the Spindle from another possible invasion by another army. And that's kind of where we left off. Also, but however, after they saved the city, they went back to their ship.
Also maybe got a little bombed. It's fine.
They went back to their ship, and the ship they had stolen from a pirate who was working with apparently the armies that were invading this reality, and had a viewer type device that allowed him to speak to someone. They originally activated it by accident, but then they came back to activate it on purpose to attempt to get some more information, either to talk to the person or to just try and figure out who they were. And instead, there was a sign saying something like "be back later" or something like that when they activated the device. And then all of a sudden, giant meteors began raining out of the sky and smashing into the spindle all around their ship, hitting their ship as well. But yeah. And after that, the council of the Spindle, which is the city they were in, met, and even though they had returned the head of the council back to them, they council voted to expel the heroes from the city in an attempt to get the obvious greater danger away from them. And the heroes had been given 24 hours to leave. They were already in the process of recruiting a crew. A lot of that crew got hurt or killed during the bombing. Some of them were actually able to be saved, including a spunky young engineer.
Buddy.
And so they basically are at a point now where they're trying. Where were you guys at? Literally at the last.
So one of the newer people who was in relation to the general who helped kind of set us up with certain things was going into the town in order to essentially gather, I guess a good way to say it is rebels against this invading force, resistance fighters, guerrillas, doesn't matter how you want to word it, it's kind of what they are, it fits. While we get the rest of the ship repaired, the Mistmother had a message for us, as well as a blessing, as well as a new purpose, so to speak. These demons are finding a way to cheat the system to come into our world. But in doing so, they have to keep it under tight lock and key. We're going to hunt down the generals that are the living embodiment of these keys, so that the doors can be opened both ways, allowing their enemies to invade them in the same way and force them to close said doors.
Looking for some way to slow the invasion down.
Slow the invasion down and turn the tide in our favor. We're doing guerrilla warfare.
Yep. And I do believe the
Mistmother.
I do believe the Mistmother had told you all to meet her at the main mast on the ship at dusk.
That is correct.
Dawn, because it was around dusk when it happened.
Okay, so it was near before dawn, because she wanted to bestow upon you gifts, help you with. So,
Actually, Ray, one interruption real quick. A certain Lieutenant Brother Drake did not get his introduction.
oh,
I almost got it.
Shouldn't have said anything.
You shouldn't
My
have
stealth
snitched on
skills
yourself.
You
shouldn't
snitched
have
on yourself.
snitched on yourself.
Traitor!
Stitches get stitches, or at least made to introduce their character.
Damn it! So close. My stealth skills
Lieutenant
were
Brother
almost
Hero
supreme enough
Drake?
Lieutenant Brother Hero
Brother
Drake.
Hero Drake. Introduce yourself, number one.
Hit you for this. Let's see, what do y'all not know about me already? You all know my name already, I should hope. I'm Sam, or Marco on most things. I play everyone's favorite rat bastard, Drake, who in this case has gone from a soul knife rogue to the group's hunter spy. The psionic abilities are getting lost in return of shadowy manifestations of gear to further help the group's cause. What I can only describe as a blaster pistol, because it's a good way to describe it, a weapon that just shoots an extremely bright and powerful burst of light that sets things ablaze and destroys things, now has an integrated, though it's reduced to a single shot, now has an integrated silencer.
Nice.
Make noise. Horrifying. He has skills that now assist in tracking down any enemies he may see, or even marking some of the bigger ones as a nemesis, enabling him to always have that sixth sense as to when they're nearby. He wasn't a rat bastard before with some of his techniques, he may become an even worse one now, because with the situation we're in, it's guerrilla warfare time. This is something he used to do as a pastime.
Hobby.
He is Lieutenant Hero Brother Drake. I'm just gonna keep switching it up every time.
Yeah. Also, we
Yeah.
need to get him. We need to get him to some kind of like school or something, so he can become Doctor Professor Lieutenant Brother Hero
Dr.
Drake.
Professor.
Yeah.
First off, I don't exactly think brother is an appropriate name.
Yeah, no,
considering
you
who he
are.
serves.
You
No,
are.
no, hear me out. Hear me out. Considering who chose him, considering his role, brother may not fit.
Right, father.
Father.
So he's Lieutenant.
No,
Father.
no,
I
hold
don't
on,
want
hold on.
Drake to be a father.
I don't want Drake to be a father.
We don't need
very
We don't
uncomfortable
need many
But
Drakes running around.
Did this,
We don't
did this,
need that.
in
did
any
this
way, shape,
campaign
or form.
something turn
There
into my
no
two
father.
dads?
My two dads.
No.
I mean, it was
You don't
already
want
kind of
No.
like
hyenas
yeah.
running around?
No. Correction. Fuck no. Horrible idea.
All right. So, now that we've confirmed the horribleness of some ideas, so all these characters were brought over from Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. If you go back and look, if you want to if you want to go back and pursue the library of previous episodes on YouTube, you will from that point back, from this game back, and this is episode 62.
62. Yep.
62. So from anything before 62 was done in 5e. And so from this point forward, we'll be using the quest system, and we'll be using that going forward. So don't get confused if you go into the library and things are weird and not doing what they're supposed to be. This is a completely different system. Oh no, it doesn't take from the hero. The new system definitely does not take away from it at all. Ever.
Hero is a state
brother
of
hero
being.
Drake will always be brother.
Brother Hero Drake.
Lieutenant.
You forgot the
Brother
lieutenant.
Hero.
That's very
Damn
important.
right.
Yeah, the
Lieutenant Brother Hero
lieutenant is
Drake.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. As soon as we can, we're gonna get him canonized, so he's Saint Lieutenant
Yes.
Brother.
Saint is
Lieutenant
better.
Brother Hero
Saint
Drake.
is better than
Saint,
brother.
Dr. Professor, Lieutenant, Brother, Hero, Drake.
Yes.
We're gonna need just
I
a
like
shirt.
this.
We just
I
need,
like
what do we
this.
need? Like a shirt of this? What looks like someone just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a whole thesaurus of titles and then Drake.
I'm looking
No,
through
no,
all of
and then
this.
it's literally it's the whole thesaurus of titles on the front, and then the back is just a picture of Sam.
I'm gonna look up new titles to add.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Keep on having to revise the shirt.
What about Duke? We could make him a Duke.
Dude.
No.
Duke, that was
Let's
better. I
make
was
him-
thinking just knight and putting sir.
Oh God! Not only
We
make
did
him
have
an
Sir in there at
not
one
only make
point.
him an officer, but make him part of the gentry as well.
Let's do it. You tell me
I love
you're gonna
it.
make
I
him
love
a
it.
Duke.
You don't
I
want
mean-
no.
Duke, or should we make him a count?
Ooh.
You know, Elatris is gonna be thrown into chaos. We can just make him the king.
No.
Ah,
no.
also.
His
No,
Majesty.
fuck that.
His Majesty.
Mr. Dr.
His-
Professor
his
Lieutenant
Royal
Saint
Highness.
Father Brother Drake.
He will become king of an underground freaking organization for any country.
So we're going to go.
Still a
ahead-
king.
King is a king.
King is a king.
King is a king.
So normally this is the time we actually take a break, and I would wait a little bit to take a break, but I suddenly need to take a break because of all the fucking hydrates.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take 10 minutes and
Excuse me.
go refill cups and stop ourselves from dying. And
Or did that.
we will be back in 10 minutes, guys. Thank you.
go
You
back.
should
Take
while
me
we're
with
still
you.
debating
Take
this.
me with you.
Profit
No.
Ladies
goes
and
towards
gentlemen.
the
I mean, we
A.
don't have a choice. We're going along wherever Ray puts us.
So where does profit go again?
My ass.
Damn.
Hold, I'm gonna write it out because I actually forgot about profit. So I think I put
When we make
I
the-
can wait.
God
Hold on. I
damn it.
wrote it down, so I'll paste it in the
Y'all
chat, and then
don't
you can
wanna
decide where
know.
profit goes.
Y'all don't want. I don't want to know. Y'all don't want to know.
I didn't want to know. You shouldn't have told me.
But you
And I'm
did.
telling you,
Now I'm telling
you don't want to know.
Want to know.
You love us, Ray.
Uh-huh.
You signed up for this.
No, I did. I don't know why, but I did.
Motherfucker.
No one can prove a thing. Jesus.
No,
I'm
not
gonna get a
another
10
one.
gallon, and you know exactly where I'm gonna put it.
So, how you guys doing?
Yes, we're having a
Yes.
great time, and I
I
I was
also
having a good
decided.
time looking up titles.
I finally decided. I went all the way back to session 17, 18, 19. Which is, session 19 was actually Camille's introduction. Fun fact.
Oh,
She's been here for almost 50 sessions.
Longer than
I got
me.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
God damn it. God fucking damn it.
But yeah, I picked what
captain
Utopia is gonna
approved.
have blessed based on sadness levels, because we're going for angst.
We're going for angst.
Yes.
Well, we've achieved angst a few times here.
Yeah. It's been a while since I cried in this game on stream.
Yep.
So
There we
Oh,
go. There
yeah.
we go. We have goals now. Make Milagros cry in this game.
yeah, again.
All right. So where we left off, everyone was going to be gathering at dawn, or just before dawn, at the main mast on your ship, the Unnamed. And-
Nameless.
The nameless.
Nameless.
Sorry. The Nameless, and you are going to be being presented by the Night Mother. So, the city around you is still not as it was when the storm happened, but there are still people
Dying.
pulling. No, there are people who are now in trying to restore order. So there are people working on repairing that were necessary, that were damaged, such as making sure that the different spindles that come out that took a lot of damage from the meteor swarm will still be safe for people to walk on in order to get out to the ships. There are some ships that, of course, were destroyed, and so there are still fires down below that are burning because ships, they crashed. A lot of the energies the power cells that make them go, and sometimes that type of violent energy combined with a wooden frame equals burning. And there is, even on your own ship, your ship was hit, I do believe, twice years, and there is repairs going on there. In fact, I do believe that your engineer, after he resurrected from having died to one of those meteor impacts, was, even though he could barely move, literally he is 1 hit point right now. Even though he could barely move and was still incredibly horribly injured, was already taking over in repairs and getting the in line. I'm assuming that you all were doing what you could to help out. I've been doing that the entire time anyway. So through the night, everyone is pouring all their efforts. You have enough of a crew that you could leave the port with a skeleton crew. But Drake, you know this because have sailed before. If you're going to do a crossing, go to another planet. You do not want to leave the safety of a planet base with skeletons.
Hence why we wait for the rest of those people to come back the next
You faded out
morning.
really bad, Semic.
Yeah.
Hence why we wait for the new people to come in the next morning.
It's also a good idea to. I mean, we kind of did make a promise to go to Ayla. We can find some more folks there, hopefully, out of the survivors.
Well, that was the other point. Ayla is under the enemy's control.
Ayla's fully occupied.
Yeah.
Like
That's
fully.
But wasn't it Kyrell we were heading to, not Ayla?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kyrell's
Yeah.
another planet.
Yeah, we said we were going to go to Ayla before we found out that it has been completely and totally occupied
Yeah,
and
it
is now kind of like churning out stuff for the other armies that are going around to
appears
use
that
to continue taking over.
Yeah, it
It
appears
has
that the
become their
population
base.
the population that was left in Ayla that survived the initial attacks and did not escape or was not evacuated in some way, shape, or form has now been conscripted
Excuse
into
me.
pretty much labor force, and they are being made to produce weapons and other things for the actual entities that are coming across, and pretty much trying to establish supplies here on this side. They don't have to worry about trying to get supplies from their original dimension. So
That definitely complicates things.
one of the things you know that you have not any of the armies that you have encountered so far, none of them have any weaponry based on the power crystals and such that is common by your people.
Yet.
So, yeah, there's no one. You haven't seen the enemy take flying ships or take sky ships yet. You haven't seen them use any of the standardized weaponry that can be made out of crystals, which is mainly cannon. So either they don't know how to utilize them yet, or they just haven't captured enough to make it worthwhile to try and train people on how to use them.
Right.
So, it depends on what you want to do. You could fly towards Ayla and try and come in on foot, or you could just try and fly to Ayla. But you've seen plenty of devils that have had wings.
Yeah. To be completely honest, the original plan I remember was not to go to Ayla, but was to go to Kyrell to find something. Remember last?
I mean, the original plan was to come here, go to Ayla, so that we could locate Rami's person, and then go to Kyrell from there.
But
And
with
also,
Ayla
like,
now
With
under,
Ayla now, yeah, in the
completely
state that
under
it's in.
enemy control, we'd be flying undermanned directly to their capital fortress. We would be giving our lives to them, or our flame to them to extinguish.
It might be might behoove us to maybe see about some of the settlements and places outside of Ayla that may or may not still be in one piece. And Val is speaking mostly for the tavern that he worked and lived in. Definitely want to to see if our friends have survived at the very least.
We also
Yeah.
have the additional problem of the likely pirates that are waiting for us just outside of this planet's protection,
There's that.
which can possibly be spun to allies depending on how we play our cards.
It's a lot of ifs.
Always going to be a
One step at a time. Let's focus on getting our crew and getting out of the system first. Deal with whatever is currently out there waiting for us, and then figure out where to go from there.
I love that phrase. Deal with with whatever's out there currently waiting for us.
Spring the trap, deal with the trap. Trap is over, then figure out where to go from there. Because we may get additional resources or additional information out of that can give us a new path that we don't know about just yet.
I mean, we could also get similar information heading towards the outskirts of Ayla as well.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to go past the possible enemies waiting for us in order to get there. That's the problem.
I mean, enemies waiting for us there, possibility of enemies waiting in orbit. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario.
The moment we leave this city's protection,
We're fucked. Either way.
With the integration of the silencer, that hand cannon can't set ships on fire anymore. So, anti-ship weapon no longer applicable. Make things a little bit more tricky.
Well, the cannons on your ship make really good anti-ship weapons too.
There's also that.
Yes.
All right. So it is approaching dawn. The sky is pinkening in the distance. The sun is beginning to lighten. And do you guys head to the main mast?
Oh yeah, Drake is literally, if no one is up, he's making sure everyone is awake for this.
I don't think anyone really slept, did you?
Nope.
No.
Exhaustion's not a thing anymore.
Huzzah.
Oh shit, it ain't.
It actually is.
What?
It is.
It is. But I don't think you can die of it.
No, not this time.
But
But
you can
Not this
definitely have problems.
complications
have problems,
are
right?
a thing.
Yeah, complications, exactly. So you guys are, head to the center of the ship. The deck is pretty clear. Most everyone is working below decks or has actually tried to get some sleep. Your chief engineer has literally passed out. I mean, he worked himself way farther than he should have.
He also did just come back from the dead.
Yeah.
And the priest
Hard.
couldn't spare him any healing spells because he had to try and resurrect. So
Yeah.
but yeah, he's basically, he's out in a hammock on the deck. You guys walk up to the main mast, and as you do, the shadow of the mast begins to form into a figure almost instantly.
That's not us.
And
Val just says that immediately just to get the awkwardness out of the way.
It's like
it darkens
it's not
on
us.
the across the deck. It darkens in coloration, and a figure rises up out of it.
That's what that's like.
And you see Mistmother standing in her dark robe, her sword on her hip. The hood of her robes pulled down low as always to where you cannot see her eyes. And she is standing in front of you all, and this is going. Thank you, Chuck. This is going to be an incredible. To be given to already I don't want to.
We're already in it, aren't we?
More than the fact that been part of this, or well, no, honestly, part of this from the beginning. Rest. have what you
Val puts a hand on Utopia's shoulder, squeezing it.
over at Drake. Change World has been
Irrevocably.
changed. Thank you very much. There is left. And no matter what happens after this, there will will be sacrifice. Have some Callie. Sacrifice. Have to. Long ago. I know. And she literally down. All three are allowed. Not going. I think I have been able to allow you to gain aspect. Better aid you. Better that.
So long as this threat continues, these people will live the only life I've ever known. They will grow up as I did, if not worse. So
That's
I
not
will
how.
hunt, and I will do as I have done to my enemy, to these new ones. And should I survive, I will continue to do just that to any who will rise to take their place.
She nods. Feel an odd sensation connection you had played goes. Field abilities and you understand some of your skills no longer present. Great or are and that with this change in skills and abilities, your overall purpose may have been.
Just kind of looks back and smiles as he sort of feels the power coalescing into some of these new objects he can create. It's a small black bead. Shadows manifesting what looks very similar to what I can only describe as the hand cannon before, but different. Pitch black.
And Val just kind of smirks and is like, "Great, now everyone's getting shadow powers. There goes the neighborhood."
And as he looks back, it's like, no, these little manifestations. Put these to good use. Our enemies won't be able to hide for long.
Says Lex.
I could stay here and be here when they need me. But I am needed with them to help fix things, to put things back as best they can be. I can't go back from the path I've stepped on.
Feel warm wave wash over. And as it does, it washes away defiance, anger. That you feel knowledge, understand without need. Throw yourself headlessly into battle as you have before. What?
I will, but I don't have to.
You will, but I don't have to.
We're not
But now it's
reliant.
a
Now it's a choice.
And even if you get into the now have ability, that will it will be directly an answer to that rather than trying to understand. Have turns to Allie.
Well, if the world's not safe, my job's not done. I'm gonna see it through. Even if I'm not around to see it, in the end, somebody will be, and that's enough for me.
Feel a cold. The aspects that you of decay and aspects with fade a bit, but your understanding of state of undeath, how that can be dramatic. Now understand that Timmy, at best, a preventative stopgap. Now have more. Connection to nature suffers strength. Incredible.
That's new.
Utopia, she turns to you. Hawked.
You know I will. I have nowhere to go home to. This is my family now. And I know you said I don't owe anyone, that this isn't my fault. But I would have owed anyone who needed my help anyway. I would have picked up the hammer and shield anyway. I would have been given armor anyway, even if it was later. It just came earlier than I expected, but I can't put it down now.
Draws a deep breath. Exhales. It's like a warm breath washing over. Hammer is now something that is like an extension. Still sits on your hip. Still hangs from your belt. No lost. Shield is still always felt your ability to met out justice. But now you've your ability. Finally, she bow. Have gained but lost.
Yeah.
Asking twice. Have to. sacrifice. Guide these.
Yeah. I know what it's like to be 3 instead of 1. We do. And besides, where my daughter goes, where our daughter goes, like we go. And someone has to look after the rest of these knuckleheads.
He actually, on the, for where her mouth, you can see her mouth at, you see her actually put a small smile on her lip. Stands up, and as she does, she steps forward, puts her hand on your. She's like 9 feet.
Val looks directly up at her.
And
Oh,
as you
boy.
look directly up at her, her eyes hear this black hole have
Huh.
shadows. Not you. All that is darkness.
True.
That which.
We
And
will.
that feels almost like a jolt of lightning as the very nature of your magic. A lot of the abilities are but the same, but in the way you your magics change. Now understand a lot of the lessons that were taught at the colleges, the colleges of magic, compared to Bardic College you went.
Oh. If our professors were still alive, I'm sure they'd be proud.
She turns and looks over her shoulder as the sun is now starting to crest and the shadows are at the first. And she looks back at all of you. Your next challenge lies on Lady of Justice.
Oh.
Given her
This great beast house one of the keys they use to enter our world, and thus also secure their own.
in his
Then we have a target.
creature of immense power and potential. From the Empire.
Fire it is then.
That bastard we got away from last time, isn't it?
That was it.
Now this will be.
Servant of
Need that a kick in the pants.
Well, that'll be a fun one to put in. That'll be a fun little notch to put on my belt.
Might you have any suggestions, my lady?
He kind of
Yep,
grins
we walked
as
into
she
that one.
begins as she begins fading and says, "When you get to Tyrell, speak to the dwarves there. They are very
Very well. And Val will bow.
nods her head still. As the last of the sun's rays come across the deck of the boat and fades. And you all are fucking tired.
Anybody else cold? I feel like it got really cold.
No, I got
It is.
super heated for a minute.
I just feel sleepy. Like,
I'll
like I
admit,
got a blanket on.
been working often. I am a bit tired.
Maybe we've still got a few hours before we need to leave. Throwing it out here.
Yeah, we could take a
Cat
quick
nap.
power nap, but
Nap time.
is anyone else's senses like super heightened right now?
No, but if I feel like if I hit someone, it would hurt more.
You could hit more. My senses are heightened.
Our senses are definitely changed.
Wait, I want to test something. Utopia's gonna put the hammer down and like run away, and then like kind of reach for it, and it just appears in
I
her
will
hand.
give you that for free.
Instead of like, because I don't want to Thor's hammer it and like hit everybody.
No. What I'm saying is, I'll give you that for free. Normally, that costs AP.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like just testing it, being like,
Yes.
oh,
So you can recall your weapon to the hand. I can pull objects out of what looks like marks on my body. That's kind of cool.
is it
That
for
will
tattoos?
raise-
Looks like it. I mean, just literally just pulls out the freaking. It's called Death's Hand, but it's essentially what I can only describe as it's a handgun. But due off of the damage, it's basically a silenced Desert Eagle. Is the best way to put it. Like it's a literal silenced hand cannon. So really just.
What were you doing,
Yeah.
Val?
Val kind of lifts up his hand, and the shadows around his hand begin to coalesce in these almost dark sparks that flash back and forth between his fingers. Well, that's fascinating.
Magic tricks?
Would seem so. Familiar, but then not.
What about you, Callie? Anything new?
It's quiet. I can't hear anything growing anymore.
You still feel your connection to the spider.
I still got my spider. Dope.
Oh, what
Wall climbing.
the fucking?
But
This one's fun. And she's just going to like throw a giant thorn in her hand.
Oh.
Just
Oh, that looks
That's cool.
and amazing.
don't
Ouch.
touch it. I think it's poisonous.
I was just about to ask if it's poison.
Well, I don't think the demons are gonna like that much.
Probably not.
Well, it seems like we got some new tricks up our sleeve. And I've got something as he holds up just a little black bead. Something to make sure that neither of you two, and literally first points at Callie, then points at Utopia, ever get lost in the city again and we can't find you.
I don't get lost.
Oh, but you do get separated. And this
That's different
never
than
gonna
being
be a problem
lost.
again.
Is it a
I don't
leaf?
understand.
Will it follow
No,
us?
it's quite
Leeches are
literally.
fun.
It is quite literally a small, like a very, very, very tiny, sticky black bead that acts as a tracking device.
great. Drake has discovered anal meads.
I said
Felt
tiny.
that coming.
I said
felt that
tiny.
coming.
What is
I've
this?
been
An
trying
anal
not
bead for a
to bring it up.
hamster?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta start small. It's fine. Nobody's judging you.
Nobody's judging you. Start small, work your way up.
hmm They're usually graduated.
Yeah.
My asshole isn't that tiny.
I don't know.
No, you're not a tiny asshole. Doesn't mean your asshole isn't tiny.
Fair point. Either way, let's try to get a little bit of rest before the reinforcements arrive and we're forced out of the city.
Cat naps.
Unless you want me to, like, just sneak in and start a... no.
No.
You'd never
No.
sign off on that. Never.
No.
We've already been banned. We should be careful.
I mean, Look, I'm not saying I'm going to. But
I've
if I
never
was
been to-
asked to
thinking
go
about
and silence all the people who are trying to get us to leave, so there's no one there to essentially vote to make us to leave.
Drake, as your captain, I order you not to do that.
Well,
I'm
I'm
pretty
obviously
sure
not
that
going to do
also
that,
means-
but I'm saying if you asked me to do it, I
I'm
wouldn't
not
be
going
against
We would
doing it.
never
No
ask you
one's
to
going
do
to
that.
ask you.
Please
That would be a
don't
really
kill my
bad
former
idea.
boss.
That's true. He was very kind to us.
I mean, that
Trying
just
to
seems
help
like we're
us
gonna get
out.
kicked out of more cities if we get kicked out of a city, and then immediately a bunch of people who kicked us out of the city are
Only
wound
if
up.
I get caught. But I'm not
It
going to do
doesn't
it. You've already said
particularly
no.
matter
That's
if you
fine.
get caught. If they're dead, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and it doesn't
definitely-
look good if we're the ones that were recently kicked out right before they kicked it.
True.
Yeah. Should we maybe tie him up before we nap?
Yes,
Look,
maybe
I'm not going to do anything.
The thought is
I'm
crossing our
tired
minds
too.
now.
he can nap vertically against the mast.
I mean, I've done it before. I've slept upside down. I'm not used
See,
to it.
this will be fine. You can do that. We'll tie you up
I'm
against the
working-
mast. You can nap.
working
The
on
rest
the
of us
mast.
will go lie down.
I might be able to
Really?
make fine still.
Trust me, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't have asked. I would have just gone and done it. But I also know you wouldn't write it off, and if I did so happen to fail, it would come back on all of us.
I don't want to be
And-
blamed for deaths that I'm not responsible for.
Right,
Exactly.
so we're going to sleep.
I only like
then.
being blamed for deaths that I am responsible for, and then those people still have to follow me.
You will have your time to quietly murder people, Drake.
I know.
We will make
Trying to
sure of
light
that.
of the situation.
No, there's enough light on the situation right now. Sun's up.
Nap time.
Does anybody else smell the dead now? Smells like dead.
No.
Oh,
In,
oh,
in
muscle
terms of
Okay,
There is a
maybe this-
strong smell of death.
maybe these
In
new
terms
heightened
of-
senses have a slight downside. Ugh. I mean, what they're cooking for breakfast sounds good. I can smell that from here.
No, I mean it just smells like dirt.
oh,
A little
that
bit of rot.
kind of death. No, it just smells like a
Emptiness.
bunch of people died here. Which
Anyone
My
else smell
muscles
breakfast
bigger.
downstairs, or is that just me?
What?
Drake
Smell
smelling
breakfast.
things. My muscles are bigger. We all need naps.
He's turned into a
We all
dog.
need naps.
And all the colors are even more
I'm not
like
sure he
heightened.
wasn't a dog.
He's turned into a dog. He's a bloodhound now.
No, because most dogs are perceived as colorblind. Everything's more vibrant now. Whatever
Camille
this
comes up
was?
from
Not
below decks,
really.
and she's kind of like got her hands in front of her,
Who is?
Camille,
Meow.
and she says,
Understand what?
What happened?
What has happened?
Are you okay?
"Yeah, I was downstairs. My rounds, beds of the." I was
What
changing the
happened?
bandages on the cannon's mate who got crushed by the cannon and his foot got mashed. I
Yeah.
was changing the bandages on his foot. The healer is going to come by tomorrow and mend it.
Oh, we're not going to be here tomorrow.
Changing bandages.
Today is technically tomorrow.
Oh, right. We stayed up all night.
Mend it.
You fixed his foot.
Oh, you got it too.
Well done.
I hope she did. She deserves this just as much as we do.
I don't.
Do you feel different?
It's something you're going to have to get used to. Consider it as a... You're going up shit creek without a paddle, so here's a paddle.
Hey,
Or
You don't need paddles.
could
You can just use your
cons-
hands.
Consider it a gift from the Night Mother.
Might be easier to do the second thing.
Yeah, we think
No
so.
vision.
You got
You
a
have too
blessing.
much vision. Literally.
I know I can use.
Yes.
But
That's good.
I also. I can have about using Owen.
I'm so proud of you, darling.
Very.
That's wonderful.
Honestly,
We're all
we don't really
super
get it
duper
either.
special.
You don't really get it either.
We're going to take a nap, and then I think we can try to explain. You weren't on deck, but she reached you too.
I was actually after I got through ending last of the bandage make you all of you.
Yeah, we're gonna take some cat naps.
I feel like coffee would just fix the situation. We don't have to worry about it.
I feel like
No.
coffee would
No,
just
what?
make us tired but faster, which is not
Yeah.
helpful at
As
this
much
point.
as much as I would normally agree, yes, coffee could be quite useful. If we don't get the rest, coffee isn't going to be able to do much
I love that.
for us.
I love how coffee would just make us
Tired faster.
tired but faster.
It's like, and I feel some rest might help our bodies better adjust to these new gifts.
Very likely.
Oh, wait. And she hooks her arm through your elbow, Utopia. This one, best. Not your mother or your. I'm not in charge of the rest of you. Art, you do.
We are going to bed because
I'd be a
we
little
want-
concerned if you were my mother. She died like 100 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, a
These
lot of
two-
people died. It's what happens.
That's true.
Okay.
And
Which reminds me, I need to call Papa.
After
Hey, Dad, guess what?
I'm a necromancer.
I can bring people back from the
I
dead.
can
You
make
know
more
anyone?
too.
I'm gonna bring back Mom.
Hey, Dad, remember when you told me to make friends? Well, I met some people, and I can make them now.
I met some people, and if they die, I can bring them right back. It's okay.
It's fine.
it's
fine.
okay.
You know
They're
how you put
protected.
back the little squirrels that fell in? Yeah, I can do that with whole people now.
Cool people now.
Whole people.
Dad, it's time to exhume Mom's body.
Oh God.
Dig her up right now.
Dad,
Dig
stop
her
using
Figure out.
Mom's-
We can figure
stop
this
using
out. We
Mom's
can figure
skull
this
for a
out.
teacup. We gotta get her back up and going.
Come on, Mom. Long overdue. Everybody's got to pull their weight, even if it is skeletons.
Everyone.
I think actually we're gonna wrap a little early today. Mainly because we are in a good spot to jump into some really deep stuff next time. Because remember, you've got some people out on the trying to recruit for you guys right now to get coming in.
Yeah.
Guys, you're fully stocked because they did manage to get you that, but you got
We're
some people
not
coming
fully
in.
crewed.
Not fully crewed. And Remy's got there's I think she's on board as your engineer. Oh, and was there anyone else that came? A couple other guys came off her ship too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly just additional crewmen who were going to Ayla, and
Yeah.
that's kind of not really an option.
Yeah, but you know,
Yes.
they were all actually, they had ended their enlistment because they were beyond the normal point of it, and they wanted to go see what they could do to help in Ayla. So, oh, excuse me. So they're going to go ahead and see what they can, if they can at least catch a ride some of the way with you guys. And
Fair
in the
enough.
meantime, they will definitely. So, but in the meantime, thank you everybody for being around. Sorry about the problems, technical issues, as always. Things go sideways really. But in the
That
meantime, are going to go ahead and say good to everyone. Thank you so much to my amazing players. I love you so much. Sam, thank you so much for having been. I am going to find out why my commands no longer work and fix them. Try it one more time.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. You
It
can
wasn't-
blame Drake though. Totally blame
I don't
Drake.
even know
though.
how they work.
Specifically, we will be blaming His Majesty Saint Pontiff King Chancellor Abbot Dr. Professor Lieutenant Prophet Constable Brother Hero Drake. And yes, that was all one breath.
Damn it.
Nicely done.
I will be creating titles. I will just make titles. We're not
Next.
going to go off a list. We're going to create
Yeah,
them.
we're gonna make some more.
Oh.
How many does he have? We need to go up to 20.
Oh my
Because-
god.
20?
1, 2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So,
We've got
ooh,
7
13's a lucky
more
number.
to go.
7 more to go. I can do this.
Come on,
7
13's
more
my
titles,
lucky number.
and the
new
titles cannot
clue.
duplicate each other.
No.
Cannot duplicate.
That's the rule.
And they can't be anything he actually wants, because then it's not
Man,
fun.
fuck you.
Also true.
It's against the
Sam,
rules.
where can folks find you in the massive interwebs?
Okay, let me fully think. Going cycling through. Under normal circumstances, the only thing I was previously super active on, before my work schedule just became absolute bloody chaos, is TikTok over at Markov and Co. You guys can also find me and the wife stream, which hopefully we're getting things set up so that I can start streaming as well, just doing random games here and there in the afternoons and evenings on Twitch over at the Starfield, which you probably saw me in chat this evening.
So
You guys
did it
can
with
have
you.
So
No,
you've
no,
made
M
it.
did do
Most
the
of
Sweet Tea
it.
special.
Oh, okay.
M did the Sweet Tea
She
special.
claimed that one.
Wednesdays, you guys can of course, find me
Forcing
here
people now.
playing Drake,
Damn.
everyone's
consent.
favorite lovable bastard.
Consent.
Say your whole
Indeed.
title.
The whole title.
I refuse.
Rude. We worked very hard on that title
Worked
for
very
you.
hard on
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
titles.
I know, hence why this is spite. Drake is full of that. Tuesdays, you can find me over on ADH Adventures or Turning Point. One of the channels, or if I remember correctly, it's first show. Currently, if things are able to make it and everything continues all the way up into December, we'll reach our 3-year mark, which is phenomenal.
It's pretty dope.
And then tomorrow evening over at Turn to Page 394, I know more than likely we will also be hosting it on our own channel. You can find the Star Wars game that my wife runs and I play in, as we attempt to reconvene the entire group and plan to break someone out of the Inquisitorius' orders prison.
Nice.
It's fine.
What could go wrong?
Everything.
I mean, you
Nothing
say that.
ever.
Everything.
That's usually when somebody falls in love with a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Just
And
saying.
that's someone
I'll-
almost always named Cassie. What?
I was not the one this time.
This time. I
This
love how we have
time.
to
Time it was
how we
not
have
me.
to put.
Look,
Yeah,
it-
It was
especially
not me
in
this time.
Tuesday, it's either you or Caitlin. It's one of the two.
That Rory, how dare you admit? How dare you
Aha!
accuse her?
Aha!
That's the word I was looking for. Accuse her of falling in love with anyone.
That was completely believable.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, at least she hasn't fallen in love with a villain.
True, she hasn't fallen in love with a villain. No.
There's
Yeah.
a yes in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Don't
Yes,
say
it's
yes.
possible. It's possible.
Liz, where can people find you?
You can find me at various iterations of @MissLiss and @MissLiss2 on most of the social media sites. Obviously here on Wednesdays, and usually you could also find me on Saturday mornings over on the Starfield for Monster Hearts 2: The Breakfast Club. But I unfortunately do have to miss a Saturday. Someday we will have the whole cast on the stream again. Someday. No, we have the wedding tasting at work, and I have to be there as a manager. And if we didn't have Seb's game, then I would actually still have to miss Monster Hearts.
Yeah, and that's the greatest enemy of any RPG is the scheduling monster.
scheduling.
Horrible, it is terrible. It ends more games than anything else, including dating your GM. Cassie,
Yeah.
how are you, and where can people find you on the massive?
I just chill out at various social medias at Lady Vamp, as well as joining Sam on Tuesday nights with, I was going to say Kingdoms of Mist, with Turning Point as Rory, the sweet little precious bean. Of course, I'm here on Wednesdays, and that's kind of it. That's all I stream because I'm boring.
You're not boring. You work hard for your money.
I do have to put in the 40 hours.
But do they treat you right?
No.
They never treat her right.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I have healthcare, and that's the only thing that really keeps me there.
That's
Hey,
valid.
It's a valid
That's
one.
valid.
Milagros, where can people find you
Hello.
on massive?
People can find me at the Starfield on Monday nights and Saturday mornings, and here with Dinner and a Game Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights. I am also on TikTok and working on getting my own internet stuff up and running, including a website and a Twitch and all that good stuff, because I'm a writer, but that means I have to let people read what I write, which is terrible, but I have to do it, so.
Yeah, you're supposed to the Kingdoms of Mist stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm working on that. It's just a lot to comb through and collect all the information from all the sessions before I can actually start outlining. Because I'm doing basically a book per kind of major arc that we have. So this would be where we are right now is basically the end of the first book and going into the second one for going after to help the Lady of Justice.
So
Hey, Milagros, are
120
you using
hours
Obsidian
of
for
source
that?
material, basically? No, not 180 hours of source.
Yep, I have to go back in because I marked in my notes where I missed stuff. So I know which sessions I didn't capture fully, and then I have to also go in and figure out how much loot we have, how many days it's been, like not excluding the 3-month skip, like how much time has actually passed, and all of that stuff. So yes, I am working on that because I want to start my novelization for Camp Nano, which is in April. So yeah, I have a deadline for that, and I'm giving myself the actual amount of time I need because I thought it wouldn't take that long. It's going to take a lot longer than I thought just to organize all the information and make it into a workable outline.
And finally, Fantasy Daddy, where can people find you on the massive internet?
Hello, I am Sphinx Akasha. You can find me on TikTok as Circle DM, on Hive, Twitter, and Instagram as Sphinx Akasha, of course. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can find me right here with Dinner and a Game. On Tuesdays, playing Emerald Sanctums with Milagros, where I play Emrys, who is an Order of Hermes Mage, the vessel to the Dragon Spirit Kilgara, and the Merlin, which is its own fun times. Of course, Wednesdays right here for Kingdoms of Mist. Every other Friday, you can find me with Initiatives with the Alex Mom channel playing Initiatives and Intrigue, where I play Badru Kamar, a bard / cleric. On the opposing Fridays, however, you can find me running my own campaign with the ADH Adventures channel called Agents of the Circle. We are in our 5th and final season. The party is currently in the Bard Kingdom of Anthem. They've just met King Bootsy. Had some really, really cool things revealed to them. And yes, by Bootsy, I do mean Bootsy Collins. Yeah, baby. And they're about to go through a trial or two. So tune into that. If you missed last week's episode, check it out. It's one of my favorites. It is my favorite, to be honest. I'm super proud of how that turned out. On Saturdays, you can find me with ADH Adventures, swapping between Heroes Arc, where I play my favorite necromancer, Raziel. And then there's Unlicensed Magic War Crimes, where I play my very first paladin, Zan. And on Sundays, you can find me again with ADH Adventures playing in The Tale That Never Was, where I play Io Neota, who is a Kalishtar Aberrant Mind sorcerer. And my answer to what if Howl from Howl's Moving Castle was a Kalishtar and his quarry was in fact Calcifer.
He's the hardest working man in Street, gentlemen.
I don't know about that.
Dude, that made me tired listening to all that.
It is tiresome saying it all. I will admit.
And if you want to find any of Dinner and Games information, you can find it in our link tree. Everyone's social are in the chat right now. Remember, the biggest thing you can do, any creator, give their content a follow. It's the greatest serotonin get, and we really appreciate it. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and see who is around so we can take all this little love fest and dump it in someone else's channel and tell them how much we appreciate them. Does anyone have anyone they want to go raid?
Raiding someone.
ADH Adventures is actually on tonight. They've been missing a
They
few
are.
weeks because they were ill.
Yeah, they're back up and running.
You want to go give them a shout since they're actually ouchie awake and working?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We're gonna go give them a raid. Remember, tell them hello. Thank them for making content that you guys can enjoy, and let them know the Dinner Game sent you. And in the meantime, remember at Dinner Game we have a table. Careful, social distance. You can wear a mask when you can. We know it's hard. We know it's difficult. We know it's comfortable, but we want you to come back every single show, watch every single game, and enjoy all this chaos because we do it because we love you and we love gaming. Guys, on Friday we're taking the night off because we're getting everything together for the Friday night game. So we will see you back here on Tuesday for Emerald Sanctums, and I will be on the Breakfast Club on Saturday morning. So, but that's going to be over on the Starfield. So you guys go check that out. We love you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Have a very, very safe night, guys. Get some sleep because I'm tired, and I know that means everyone else is because I'm really important. I'm tired. Everyone else has to be.
I mean, I could definitely
Agreed.
use the extra sleep after
Agreed.
like the past week. I got the mid shift tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be able to get anything done. And Friday, oh,
It's going to be bad. But